So somebody said dude is so insecure, and that's the best way to put it with Will Ospreay. So bruv is like AEW on Max, and it's like this shot of them all doing these dives, and it's this one shot, right? And WWE already started doing this and innovating, but then he quote tweets himself and he goes, one shot camera work greater than 1,000 camera cuts. Now the camera cuts thing, they've laid back on that in WWE, and they started doing the one shots and the drone shots and being innovative again. AEW's kind of playing catch up with their drones and because for a minute there, AEW was shooting it like WWE. Go back and watch a bunch of cuts, and then WWE rolled out the drones and the long shots. AEW starts doing the same thing. Even their aesthetic, look at the white ropes. If I was like, hey, this is WWE Superstars, you wouldn't even know the difference. Like the white ropes with the gray mat. They don't have their own look or anything, their own vibe or anything, in my opinion. And so I don't know why Osprey's like one camera shot work greater than 1 million camera cuts. Osprey, the type of wrestling you do typically requires a camera cuts, just so you know, bruv, right? When you're diving over and through, that requires more camera work, but also you need full buildings to do that. Otherwise it looks stupid, or you have to do it in a small building that looks packed to the tits, and then people go, wow, that's a vibe. The way this building is set up, great, and I'm glad AEW was able to pull this shot off, because it is brilliant. If you guys go look at the clip, it looks great. Whoever did this did great work. But it feels like a bit of a shot at WWE again. And even if it isn't, that's how fans are going to interpret it. Now, people say like, oh, you have responsibility with your or whatever. I'm not trying to be like, you shouldn't do that because people will get mad at you or whatever. Do whatever you want, right? I'm not one of those people who's like, you need to be responsible for how everyone interprets this, you know? I don't know. I took it like a shot at Triple H again. Like, I just feel like he's real insecure about it. Like this person quote tweeted, unpaid critic. It just feels like, really, dude? Because that's such a WWE thing. And it just makes, and then that was a recent criticism. Like, people were trying to say the John Cena heel turn, there was too many camera cuts. And it's like, bro, Osprey, stop. You know, you guys did that one time. It's always like overly self-congratulatory, man. When you're not clacking home runs yet to even be, I don't know if Osprey's even earned his keep yet in AEW fully, you know, at least in my opinion. So JD from NY says, holy AEW is delusional. This was actually cited in a report today from Fightful. And so Fightful says AEW internally has touted the success of the Death Riders and Moxley winning the title, citing a disconnect with online fans. AEW claims that the company's live DVR quarters have climbed through the year with Moxley as champion. And that's the thing, man. They climbed through the year, but they are like down so much. So it's just sickos who are tapped out now returning. Like you have sickos who are like, we're tapping out, but maybe we'll come and watch some Moxley. That's all it is, bro, because you've whittled it down to such like a small pool of people. But if you ask Dave, it's like 30 billion on Max. Again, Will Ospreay believes WWE fans would have a sexual awakening watching him wrestle. We covered that. It's like, no, you sicko. Jimmy Corderas, here's his reffin' rant today. Let's take a look and shout out Jimmy.
So apparently I stirred the pot again yesterday on the interweb. Hello, everyone. Former pro wrestling referee Jimmy Corderas with your reffin' rant for today. Check out the Reffin' Up podcast. Check out Huge Pop Radio. Both great episodes. You're going to love them. Look. So I made a comment that I thought it was a bad move for Darby Allin to go on vacation, basically because he wants to climb Mount Everest in the middle of a time when AEW needs one of their most over and popular superstars to help get them out of this rut they're in. That's basically what I'm saying. That's all. I think it was a bad move, and if Darby Allin's priorities are elsewhere, then maybe Tony Khan should say, look, we're going to let you out of your contract, go do what you got to do. When you're done and you're really serious about putting...
That's all it is. Everyone wants to go to AEW so they can get paid a bunch to wrestle part-time and go do other... And then they go, this is the best, the elite. We love wrestling, bruv. Meanwhile, you guys wrestle less and you all go and do other and take way more time off. And then people shame you for criticizing AEW for that. And then when somebody like Switchblade points out they're getting paid $110 million, when everyone's like, in AEW, they get paid more to wrestle less. And then everyone gets mad. They're not getting paid that much. It's so insane, bro. Yeah, Darby's an idiot. He could lose a toe. He could lose a foot. It's not even about dying. It's about, like, he could lose a hand, bro. You don't know. Some could go down, and it's like they're just going to bring him back, get the initial pop from whatever crowd they're at, if maybe not even. It depends. Out of sight, out of mind. And then Darby's just going to win the world title in some super hardcore death with Mox, where they go, like, to the extreme. And that's why Mox hasn't been cutting himself up lately as much, because he's going to, like, do some real sick I know the spiked bat, but before that spiked bat, he really wasn't blading, but that was a big match for him, Edge.
Full-time effort into this. Come on back. We'll sign you back. There you go. That's all it is. All of a sudden, everybody said, well, he put in, he's allowed to do what he wants to do and all this sort of stuff. I'm not saying he's not allowed to do what he wants to do. What I'm saying is, if you're going to put your heart, effort, and soul into a company and get signed, and if your goal is to become...
Aren't you a wrestler? Like, what point do we stop? Are we not wrestlers now who have to wrestle?
The top dog in professional wrestling, which he claims to do all the time, then you put all of your...
all their promos in AEW. Oh, I love wrestling. I deserve this. I work so hard in wrestling. And then none of you want to wrestle. You all want to get PhDs. And I'm not, but it's just like, man, you all want to do movies and have singing careers and get PhDs and do silly skits. And I do not know. We're going to beat our heads against a wall doing this forever. And I'm not saying people can't go do movies and you absolutists. Okay. So FTR Follow the Revolution, one of Neckbeard's fools, says that Ricochet claims WWE just kept ignoring his creative ideas even though he knew better than them. And Ricochet goes, I think you saw glimpses of my new character in AEW back at NXT when I first got there. I think you saw glimpses of the suit. Of the suit! That's what everyone wears, a suit. Jesus, your granddad wears a suit. Man, I think you saw glimpses of the suit. I think you saw glimpses of the promos. I think you saw glimpses of the personality trying to shine through. No matter how many ideas you pitch or how many things you say or how many... I even made videos until they really want it to happen. It's just not going to happen. But as you can see, my way is the best way, really, and that's with anything. With the New York Post, so maybe he's healing a bit, but I don't know how his way is the best way. He is doing well for himself, but he needs to pop a goddamn rating, dude. Give us a real classic match or feud or something like that. So Jericho, we covered it, is reportedly taking time off from AEW and ROH while he tours with Fozzy. He reportedly feels it's the right time for a break. So we covered that. Hopefully Jericho, we see him soon in WWE. No, I'm just kidding. Stop believing in any babyface that works for All Elite Wrestling. They are all losers. So here is Elbu and King Gao and Sir Paragraph, and they are just absolutely burying AEW and their baby faces, and they're right. You can't have faith in their baby faces. It's hard to discern even who is a baby face at times, but again, these are the guys that Tony wants to text. These are the guys, the sickos, wrestle purists. They want to retweet. They want to talk about Dave and put trust in these guys and give them $5 to listen to their Discord. And this is who some of these wrestlers, because I know I've been told, oh, what access? And not to creative, but to just you guys talking to you, okay? And you know who you are if you're listening to this, and you text this dude or show up in his streams or Tony Khan's talking to these fools or whatever. You know what I mean? This is what you get, man. They hide behind a paywall and then they just talk and laugh and stooge everything you tell them, I guess. But yeah, here, you have the sickoest of the sickos even being incredibly critical of AEW at this point, because everybody wants Moxley to drop that belt. And I know that they're sitting there saying, oh, the quarter hours and everything are spiking when Moxley's on. And I just would love to see the info. That's all, right? Because even that one guy, like last week on the show, he brought up all these Moxley stats, and I went through bit by bit, and we just sort of broke down how this guy really just sort of buried Moxley, and then he ducked the point. He went to the YouTube numbers whenever it convened him. Anyways, here's the Wrestle Purist guys who are just, I guess, on Wrestle Dynasty. I'm not sure what this clip is, when it was from exactly, but very recently.
Stop believing in any babyface that works for All Elite Wrestling. They are all losers. They are losers. The promotion wants you to think they're losers. There's going to be 50 heatless run-ins during the Dick Riders matches.
Punk talks to Elbu. Punk, stop talking to Elbu. See that? That's called being consistent. Hey, Punk, love you, bud. Don't talk to that fool. Or talk to him. I'm not going to tell you to talk to. Is Punk stooging to him? And Or is Elbu saying that Punk is stooging in his mind stories? In my mind, right? That's what I need to know, because I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I know with the MJF and Punk beef or whatever, that comes from MJF. We know that. How? Because MJF jumped in their streams before, okay? So we know where that comes from. When they're talking like, oh, MJF and Cody Rhodes had heat or whatever. Or like he drove for hours and hours and hours. MJF's jumped in their streams, bro. So we know where that's coming from. But anyways.
It comes to Bulldog Tub, bro. It comes to Bulldog Tub. It doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter that they top the charts in selling merch. It doesn't matter that they're the only ones moving quarters. They are losers who are going to get choked out by Jon Moxley. Stop believing in them.
The last shot we had of Hangman Page, who was one of the great characters in wrestling on that show.
Loser. Getting stomped out by the dick riders.
Genuinely, his ass was tooted up on the floor.
Tootie! Stop believing in any babyface that works for all.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And that's Wrestle Purists posting that, so maybe they got buried by enough AEW guys. Maybe the AEW guys cut ties too, and that shit pissed them off. That could definitely be something as well. And now they're just going to flip-flop, flippy-floppy. So, Botchamania, Matthew Gregg says, AEW still insisting that Jonathan Gresham never beat Bandito for the ROH title is very amusing to me. Yes, Bandito was stripped of it because he couldn't defend it at Final Battle, but months later, Gresham beat him at Supercard of Honor to become undisputed ROH champion.
As Bandito over the top, and Jericho goes down hard.
Absolutely. Let's not forget Bandito. Never beaten for the belt, stripped of the title when able to wrestle at Final Battle back 4 years ago. That was during the COVID era.
That's funny. Yeah, no, people accuse WWE of creating their own history. AEW does it all the time. They have the Owen Hart tournament. It's crazy. What the hell did he have to do with AEW? So this Wednesday in Boston, AEW Dynamite will become the longest running primetime weekly wrestling show in TBS TNT history. I think that's a lie because it wasn't WCW Saturday night or whatever, or is that not primetime? I don't know how they come up with this distinction. Wrestling fans oftentimes, especially the sickos, can be quite stupid and misconstrue stuff that they're reading, or just look at one thing and jump on it before they actually look at what they're talking about. But yeah, I was just like, okay, and who cares? This is a flex. Pourquoi? So here are the Young Bucks who appear by video at New Japan's Windy City Riot, challenging the War Dogs to a match at Resurgence. So Windy City Riot might have already happened. I don't know. They also teased the return of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson for Resurgence. Sorry, I don't keep up with all the American pay-per-view names for the New Japan. You know what I mean?
Testing. Are we on? Are we live?
It's the Young Bucks.
Hey guys.
Hey War Dogs. We see you guys aren't booked yet for the Ontario show, and that got us thinking. That's our hometown. What should we do, Matthew?
Oh, I think the War Dogs are always down for a fight, right? And so are we, as you know. But you might be thinking, there's only two of you, and there's all of you guys. So mathematically, it doesn't really add up. Now, does it? Well, fortunately, we know a couple of old OG friends who are also always willing and up for a fight.
Should we call them up and talk some
on a private plane? Okay, so Pac was seen leaving last night's AEW Dynamite taping on crutches. The belief among talent spoke with is that the injury is ankle-based, but no words yet on how severe. So he hurt his ankle again. I think he already his leg up before. Wasn't he on crutches like over the holiday, or maybe that was a long while ago? Daniel Garcia said that when it's all said and done, the rivalry between Wheeler Yuta and I will be generational. Man. What? So, according to Raj Giri, AEW Dynamite saw an increase in its audience and demo rating for Wednesday's post-pay-per-view episode, 659K, up 11%, with a 0.17, up 6%. Year over year, they were down 20%, and the key demos down 43%. And it's a year ago that they showed the Jack Perry footage. So there you go, AEW. So I brought up before as well the Billy Gunn stuff. So basically, Ringside News reported this. Now, their info they're getting is from Dave Meltzer. We're going to cover this in depth and what Dave said during Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. Again, Phil, don't miss on the 2-year anniversary. A bunch of gifts. I got a bunch of goodies tonight. It was really good. So why Billy Gunn is in 2K25 despite his AEW contract, okay? So I tweet out, my channel is 2 years old today. I said what Dave Meltzer is just revealing now 2 years ago, and I'm not kidding. Go back and listen to me talking about Sting at any point. Billy Gunn, Sting, Jake Roberts, and probably others I'm forgetting have WWE Legends deals. WWE wants, they can put Sting in video games too. They could have this entire time. They just chose not to. I don't think Billy will be in AEW much longer if I had to fancy a guess. Now, at the last pay-per-view, I talked a lot of and then he showed up with Bowens. It's okay, though, because here's the thing. I'm not even I don't need to get defensive about what I said, but I just said I don't think Billy will be there much longer. Here's some more evidence towards that. And just because Tony Khan last minute parades Billy Gunn out there doesn't mean he does that to everyone. He paraded Joey Janela out there, then let him go. He paraded Lexus King out there, then let him go. He parades people out and lets them go all the time. Rhea Ripley in the crowd wearing an Alexander Volkanovski shirt at the UFC right now. But anyways, this guy responds. MXYZ24 shouts you out, brother. Kip Sop. So Billy Gunn himself retweeted at Pop Culture Review says that Colton Gunn, Austin Gunn could be legit grade A. And this is March 30th, folks. 2 weeks ago, an ultimate tag with NXT, and they can help induct their dad, Billy Gunn, into the Hall of Fame solo. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Billy Gunn retweeted that. Where have the Gunn boys been? Now, MLW. Now, remember what I told you guys, right? Again, Phil, don't miss, bro. This is episodic television here at PWT. Go back and hear what I was saying about the MLW deal. Or MLP, Maple Leaf Pro, sorry, not MLW, MLP. And AEW deal. It's secretive. It's like TNA. And if anything pops or gets over or is hot there, Tony Khan gets first dibs. Billy Gunn, what did we cover on this show at Maple Leaf? They introduced him, former WWE World Champ. They didn't even mention AEW. They did on commentary after. Mauro Ranallo did, just saying all the companies he's worked for. But they're like, WWE superstar. And Billy got a big ovation, and he was hugging everyone like he was now free. And I was like, man. And then Tony parades him out with Bowens at this pay-per-view. Curious, right? That he got a big pop, and then Tony's like, I know, we'll get another big pop on my show. A little curious, man. That's all I'm saying. So people were like, well, what? What if something starts working over there? And it's like, that's what. If something like that, I don't know. I'm just trying to puzzle piece it together. Maybe I'm off on that too. Maybe he had it planned the whole time. Kip Sop's retweeting his boys ain't been on TV. They were paraded out there, and then they lost. They were paraded out there, got a big pop. The Gun boys are back. They lost. Bye-bye. Then they're gone. These two, I've been saying it since day one. They would fit in so well. I put over Hook for the same thing. The Gun boys as well. I've been saying forever. They would fit so well into NXT and the vibe that's going on there. Like it's a college campus type thing. They'd fit in so good. They could induct their dad into the Hall of Fame. All that good, pal. So, again, don't be shocked if in 2025 we see more people leave, and Phil was right again. So Matt Hardy on the Death Riders, or actually, sorry, speaking of people leaving, AEW is reportedly planning on letting Abaddon and Nick Camarato's contracts expire. Those both expire this year. Phil, don't miss. Camarato's, how they didn't do anything with that big, furry, burly man. Jesus, man, he's a big, giant dude. Like, how do you not have that as someone's heater? Like, just wrecking dudes, man. Instead, they, like, put him in a fedora and gave him a lollipop or, like, a toothpick, and they're like, hey, yeah, you're with you're with these pretty boys or whatever. They did such dumb with them. Anyways, yeah, they'll be gone this year, too. Again, more and more and more people leaving. And lastly, Matt Hardy on the Death Riders. And this is the guy who made the Broken Universe, guys, okay? He says, I don't necessarily understand their whole mission at AEW. I was just saying this last show. I was harping on this storyline has been going for 9 months or whatever. But as I explained on the show, I'm like, but what's the storyline? Like, what is this? It's not even really a story. Like, we don't know what they're after. There's no betrayal. There's no motives. There's no reasoning. There's no clear cut. Well, what is he trying to do? Restore AEW to its glory, but he's hiding the title away. and shit. It just makes no sense. Like, there's no real story here. It's just like just happening. Surface level is happening. He starts beefing Yuta all of a sudden. They're not beefing, and then in a year he'll beat up Yuta and everyone will be like, see, they planted seeds. No, that's not seed planting. You know, you have to water the seed. It's just happening all the time. So it's like, no, it's not really a story. Nothing's really clear on like who or what they're trying to do. And it's hilarious that Matt Hardy's saying the same thing your boy Phil was saying. I don't necessarily understand their whole mission at AEW. What are they trying to accomplish? So Matt Hardy goes on to say AEW really, really, really needs something to get hot and catch fire to kind of get their momentum back. I think so. He goes, I love Jon Moxley. I think in many ways Jon is the heart and soul of AEW. I think he busted his ass for AEW. He takes these crazy risks and puts it on the line for AEW week in and week out, no doubt. But I think it's time to go in a different direction and try and start something new that could possibly catch fire. Oh my God. You're just an old podcaster, Matt Hardy, except for when you're here falling off a crane, cracking your skull open with Sammy Guevara. Until then, you're cool. But as soon as you go, oh man, they should clean it up. You're just an old shill podcaster. Legends deal. Your opinion's invalid. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was AEW news.